Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Job Reaper for you. So in this video, we are going to see the details about real-time usage of APIs in industry with examples. So now let's see the solution to fix problem which we explained in the previous video. So when you have a different stack on the front end and back end. So now we were bringing a feature called API which actually act as an interface between your client and server. We also call it as a middle layer between your client and server. So basically, you know that create a reservation is a method present somewhere in the backend code that will actually check the availability and will create a reservation and send to the database to store which contain 100 of lines of code. So what we will do is we create one API, so that API calls this create reservation method every time when you someone hit the API. This API we will host on the same server marriott.com. So if someone tried to access this API, this API will come and call this create reservation method. This is the reference. So now what exactly is the difference of calling? Why can't we call directly? This API is independent of any language. Now let me get back to our marriott.com. So you will give the destination, date and your name, then book your ticket. From front end, you need to enter the details to book the room correctly. After all of these details, when you click the reserve button at the end, after that front end will capture all these values, destination, rooms number, dates, everything, and send it to API. Whenever it's sent into API, it sends the information over HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol is independent of any language. So either you use Java, JavaScript or TypeScript. It does not matter what language you are using. That all information from front end will be sent to the API using HTTP request. Once this API gets the details, all the detail it will send to create the reservation. Because creating this reservation here requires the first name, check-in date, checkout date, area, where they need to go, and number of rooms. They need this detail to run this method and create a reservation. So if you see first screen, initially both are in Java directly. So front end is interacting and calling create a reservation method with this value. Whenever user enter the detail in client side, then all the details captured successfully by front end, and those details are sent as an input to create a reservation method. Based on this detail, inside processing will occur and finally reservation will create. As now it's a TypeScript, what we are doing, we send all the information to the API and that information goes on HTTP protocol. Additionally, when you send information, you send it a format that can be a JSON or XML. So here XML independent of any language. Both JSON or XML does not belong any specific language family. They were used by all languages. Now JavaScript has two libraries to parse the JSON or XML. Java and Python also have the library. So these are the like representation. These are not languages, right? These are the presentation of data in a specific format. So all the details like first name, last name, you will send on JSON over HTTP protocol to the API. These API now give the detail to create reservation method. So developer have to create this API in a such a way that when someone hits this API, automatically this API should capture that information and send it to the method of create reservation. So this is the duty of the API. So the developer will create the API in a such way that it does the job, and then it will send the response back to the API if it is success. If same response API receive it and then uses a XML or JSON to send back that response to front end. So front end tools like a Angular or JavaScript, we parse that JSON, and as I told you, this can be parsed through all languages. Once they get a response back like a reservation number, confirmation, yes or no, they will send back to the response of JSON, and Angular or TypeScript will parse that response and extract that value, and it will display on the front end HTML page to the user and showing to that user that reservation is confirmed and that's the reservation number. So this is the way there is no interaction with Angular and Java here. Everything we received from an API. What we need to send it to create reservation, everything we are sending to API. So this is API act as a middle layer or interface between the client and server and serve the both the technology. Let me show you the another screen. That is a one more problem. As the hotels.com want to showcase Marriott Hotels feature on their website. Initially, we thought it was not even possible to share all the backend code. So now this guy from Marriott Hotel can be expose the API because that API do not have anything code, right? There is no code inside it. What it does is whenever it receives the request for information, it will pass on the create the reservation method. That's it. Both are hosted on the server, right? So once someone hits this server, this information will be sent to the creation reservation server, and backend will only happen in the married server, and ID will send them back to the API, and the API will give the back to the hotel.com. So there is no direct interaction between hotel.com and married hotel directly now. So even for hotel.com, do not need any code now. They just need to confirm the reservation. So they will just use the API. So these guys should expose an API like this. If they expose an API, then these hotel.com will access this API, and it send all the information like first name, last name, check-in date, checkout date, and does the same thing, just like we did in this scenario, nothing different. So this is about exposing an API. So this is how we are going to solve our problem. And if I go back to Wikipedia definition of what API is, it's an interface, and full form is application programming interface. It's an interface or communication protocol between the client and server intended to simplify the building of client site. So this is the overall concept of what is API and where we need to use API in real time. Yeah, thank you.